Hello and welcome to the London Bulls podcast with me, Tom Gough. As ever, I'm joined by Joe Clements. Joe, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Tom. I'm extremely excited about starting the new season, so raring to go.
Good, good. And as some eagle-eyed viewers who are watching may have noticed, there is a third person on this call today. It's Mr. KD Rai. KD, how are we, my friend? How are we?
My friends, very good to see you all. I'm actually still recovering from the last day shenanigans, to be honest with you. Best day of my life.
Yeah, that
Unbelievable.
was
I'm
that
still
was
wearing my shin pads from wearing the full kit.
Yeah, that was hard work, wasn't it? That game, and but it was also your stag do, and we certainly celebrated staying up for quite a while afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, it knocked about 3 years off my life, I think, that night. It was worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
You couldn't write
that's
that
it,
script.
staggering up the road from Trilogy nightclub somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, Tom and I got a late night kebab and all
We did,
sorts, and it was
we
just
did,
incredible.
we did. That was
Amazing.
uh, that was good. That was good. That was a highlight of my night, I think. Was the late night kebab, but anyway, that was last season. This is this. Obviously, preseason is now done and dusted. Lots of new signings to talk about, lots of games to talk about. We've got our new permanent manager, who was our manager for the end of last season, but obviously signed that 2-year contract now, along with Harry Pell. So, how do we think? What do we think on the management duo? Have they impressed you so far, Joe?
Yes, is in a word, they have. I I don't know. I think everyone is feeling positive. I'm feeling great about them. Everyone that I've spoken to has a very good feeling. I think things have been so much better organised than they were
Mm,
last season already, which is great. They're brilliant with fans. They're great at interacting with fans, which is so important at our level. And yeah, we've got new signings. We've got a
hmm.
squad.
Yes,
It's always a good start, right?
it
What
is.
about you, Katie?
Yeah, everything I've echoed with what Joe said. I mean, what they achieved back end of that season was it
Mm,
23 odd games,
mm,
and they had something like two training sessions, which is ridiculous. And they managed to stay up and actually implement a great sense of energy in the squad.
hmm.
Tactically, we looked a lot better, and I'm really excited for what a full summer can do,
Mm.
for this squad with their management, especially Harry Potter having the kind of Hereford connection, more training sessions under their belt. They've made some really good signings, as Joe just said. I'm really impressed with some of the guys that have come through. And they're really impressive preseason, haven't they? So,
Mm.
yeah, really excited for what's to come.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, it's interesting with Harry Powell because before he got injured and obviously had to retire, he wanted to come back. He wanted to come and play. And the manager at the time, Paul Caddis, didn't obviously want him, didn't feel the need. And obviously, look, that turned out to be a good a good decision in the end because Harry did get injured. But it just shows, I think, for me, how much he wants to be here and how much he really loves this club. Um, I don't think there's any doubt that Aaron Downs has showed that as well over the past, well, since February, since they came in. But you know, obviously a lot of signings have come in, but I mean, let's look at those signings. Let's look at those signings. So obviously, one of the first to sign up, new players was Corley Cox. I mean, local lad, played for Peggy and Westfields. Obviously been at Merthyr now for I think was it 18 months. Um, scored 16 goals last season. That's I mean that's the player that we wanted for years. Someone who's proven at
Absolutely.
this level.
I mean, last season, everybody, including us, were banging on about the fact we needed a proven goal scorer. Yeah, of course, everyone at the club was saying, "Well, they don't grow on trees. We can't,
Yes.
we can't just magic one up." But hopefully, Corley is that guy that we've been crying out for.
Mm. They do grow in Herefordshire though, as we've
Yeah, it
found out.
turns out they do. Who
Corley,
knew?
Andy Williams. So it's yeah. How are you feeling about Corley, KD?
Just before we go into quality, I wanted to chat with you. So obviously we know Hereford advertised the managerial vacancy. Tom has a very impressive football manager record on the PC. Can we confirm or deny if you applied for the role?
Look, I
Did
don't
you
think it'd
throw
be
your hat in
fair
the
for
ring,
me
mate?
to say. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't be fair for me to comment on things like that. But look, Hereford's obviously a club that's close to my heart, and if one day the job became available and I was the best person for it, then of course I'd take it. Yeah.
I
Okay,
should
because
add
we
though
have
that I
just seen.
think if the World Cup Fantasy League is anything to go by, there's only one of us on this call
Yeah.
out of the three of us that is qualified on that front.
Yeah, you
Not
didn't
that I
win it.
want to talk about
You
it.
still didn't win it though.
Not quite.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
sorry to distract, but yeah,
That's
Corley
fine.
Cox, unbelievable player.
Mm,
He looked really good at the beginning of the season for Merthyr, didn't he?
mm,
And I think everyone was saying when they how we missed him, how are we missing these amazing players coming through in Herefordshire? They're going off to these kind of football league clubs like Cheltenham and Shrewsbury, and it's been brilliant to see Aaron Downs has been looking at the youth team as well, hasn't he, and just
mm,
giving them a chance. And I think that's something we want to see. We want to see more local lads kind of, representing us on the pitch. So yeah,
mm.
really good to see Corley sign for us.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And and in pre-season, although he's only scored is it one goal from the penalty spot, but he's looked so dangerous, and you just feel like once that team clicks together a bit, and obviously we've had a few injuries as well, that and once they learn what he's about, he's a proper striker at the end of the day. He's going to score your goals, and once they can link up, it'll be dangerous. And obviously we've got Danny Waldron as well, who we've signed, who is a very sought after player. I'm so happy that we've got him. He's scored everywhere he's gone. But but yeah, I just think him and Cooley could be a very dangerous attacking line this season.
I agree. I think that especially in the friendlies, I mean, look, friendlies are so difficult, aren't they? Because they're kind
Hmm.
of extended training sessions. The team are getting used to playing together. They don't want to put them in for, 90 minutes a pop from the offset because of injuries. And obviously we have picked up injuries, which I'm sure we'll get onto in a little bit. But there has been promise, and I think, as you say, once they get used to how they play, what they need from one another, I think we could be a force to be reckoned with.
Why, KD?
We'll fight for the predictions later.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
save that to the
excited.
end.
I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, attacking wise, we look really good, don't we? Liam Roberts, I was going to highlight. He scored from a
Mm,
corner actually last
mm.
season in his, I think, one of his games for Fleetwood. So hope he can score a few more directly from corners at Edgar Street. So we look like a threat from the set pieces, actually.
Yeah, well, that's it. Obviously we had Amari Sterling James, whose corners were pretty good. And it's something that we've missed for years. I mean, this isn't something that it was just under Caddis or just since Gailing. I mean, I remember being terrible at corners and free kicks under Turner, to be honest. But so it it just gives you that extra opportunity, doesn't it? When you've got a good corner taker and you've got big tall centre backs like we have in Carl Haykins and obviously Cam Candola now as well. So, you know, we've got people to aim for. But yeah, I mean Liam Roberts has looked fantastic since he's come in. He is a winger, but he can play left wing back, and he's probably been playing left wing back really for Hereford in this pre-season, which is obviously where he's been needed. But I just he's got that air of you know those young lone players that we had last season that did so well for us.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. And hopefully a sort of few weeks into the season, we may see a few more of those come in
Mm, mm,
at some point because I mean, yeah, they obviously played such a big part last season.
hmm.
And the
Yeah,
But
strategy of, 2-year deals for a lot of these young players too has been really good for us. Obviously, we know how kind of rich this level is becoming, even the
mm,
level below, a lot of money's being thrown about. And I think we need to look at our strategy. Can we develop these guys over a couple of years and then get a transfer fee for them? We've seen this summer what George Monday has achieved,
mm,
go into Brighton. and Cormac Daly going to Hearts. So,
Mm,
that is a real good this shows us a good springboard for a lot of players to come to and then progress their careers. So,
mm.
yeah, we need to look at different ways we can improve our finances, and offering 2 year deals is quite exciting, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And also, those examples you say about Monday and Cormac Daly, it shows other managers and academy managers what can happen if you send your lad on loan to Hereford, and how we can develop them. There's what we've seen obviously of Downs and Pal is they're very good coaches. The man management seems to be there. They've brought the team together. But also I think it's a great experience for these players to be playing in front of, 2,800, 3,000 people where they're not always for you, and sometimes it's harder playing in front of a small crowd because you can hear every voice. But with this, you can hear every groan at Edgar Street. And so that's tough for a player because they haven't had that, and so it's a great experience. And hopefully, as you say, KD, I mean, there's some good lads there. Just flick through them. Obviously, Corley got Finn Holmes. He looks he looked dangerous. Obviously, he's injured, but so that's but hopefully not for too much longer. Cam Candela was injured, but he came back in for the um, Bromsgrove game. Danny Waldron, Billy Phillips in centre midfield. I mean, he's just scoring goals for fun. Obviously a bit more attacking, but just seems to have so much confidence and seems so ready. I think at the Pegasus game, and I think this is what impressed me at the Pegasus game is how many of them looked ready. Maybe a bit of fitness, but Lewis Hudson looked like he was in the form of his life. Cam Candela looked so confident and calm on the ball. You know, Theo was pinging balls left, right, and centre. All right, a few of them were missing, but most of them were on target. As I say, Finn Holmes looked great. Billy, that's sort of why I'm talking about it. Really, is Billy Phillips looked great. Um, and so I think that's just from that first game. That's so impressive to have so many of your top first team players to be ready. Which says a lot about that management team and the preseason that we've had.
And I think with Harry and Aaron, they don't just look technically at people, but they'll look at their characters.
Mm,
Every interview he's done, he's talked about doing extensive research on each player. And I think he always wants the right fit that, players that will wear the shirt with pride, that are hungry,
mm,
that have a high work rate. And I think we saw that with some of the guys he brought in towards the end of the season. And the kind of performances we've seen over preseason already, how, people are taking it seriously. They're not just turning up and going home. They're engaging with fans. We saw after
mm,
the Solihull Moors game, people staying for a couple of hours after and just mingling with people. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the kind of characters we have in the squad too.
Yeah. Joe, your thoughts on obviously you've been to one or two preseason games. You know, who just to finish off those players, obviously Joe Willis is injured, has been since pretty early in training.
We should say London Bull sponsored Joe Willis,
Yeah.
by the way.
Gutted
Yes.
if you sponsor his away shirt, aren't you?
We need him back soon. I think what did Aaron Dan say? He said about 8 to 10 weeks. That was probably
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully back soon.
Obviously Luke Spokes, who again has looked great since he's come in. Got Will Merritt on loan, Forest Green at centre back. I guess that was a slight bit of cover for Cam. Um, but potentially we might be playing sort of five at the back with two wing backs, with Hudson getting forward and Joseph James, who is obviously re-signed and again has looked great. Um, we've also got Jordan Williamson, who was obviously on trial from Pegasus, who is really impressed and obviously got the goal against Bromsgrove. It's just further to what we are saying about Corley Cox. Again, it's so fantastic to see a Hereford lad getting his opportunity and taking it as well. He looked great against Pegasus that day. Maybe he had something to prove against them.
Yeah, you think so, right?
But I didn't So I didn't realize at the time who it was, and I just thought, oh yeah, he looks good. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we didn't sign him, not realizing that it was Jordan, and that was obviously a big game for him. So that's great, and obviously Jack Tolley as well stepping up from the youth as you sort of alluded to, KD. So we got a lot of players coming in, but they all seem to be doing really well. So going back to sort of what I was going to say to you, Joe, which is pre-season for you, um, you know, what's been your impression of these players and of the team?
I mean, the ones that I went to were I went to Bishop's Cleeve.
Mhm.
That Bishop's Cleeve was a weird one because I think out of all of them, that felt a little bit more like a kind of extended training session more
Mm.
than anything. Which is, it's fair enough. It was early on in pre-season. You've got to do that. You've got to give everyone a run out. Finn Holmes looked brilliant in that,
Hmm.
and it was
Hmm.
a bit of a heart-wrenching moment when he pulled up and went off, clearly looking a little bit distressed because I think he obviously realised that was going to, holding his holding his hamstring. I think he probably realised that was going to be him out for a little bit. I think that, and I know, look, there's been a little bit of criticism as to how many minutes the under 18s have got, but I also, as we said earlier, I think it's important to nurture that local talent and to suss out that local talent. And I thought Harry Jones from the under 18s looked brilliant.
Mm.
I think he's a really, really exciting prospect. So I think it's good that these guys have got those minutes and that Aaron and Harry are clearly looking at them. Um, and then I thought the Worcester game that we already looked like we were a step forward in that game in terms of how we were playing together, how they were linking up. We looked like we were creating chances, which after a large part of last season, that was very exciting to see. I know you mentioned Billy Phillips earlier on. He was stand up for me in that game. I thought he was great. So yeah, I think they're the ones I've been to. I think it's been a good
Mm.
pre-season. I know
Mm.
you've been to a couple more, Tom, as well.
Yeah, I've only been to two, but they're two different ones to you.
The ones that I didn't go to,
So
yeah.
that's good. I mean, obviously, so we've had 6 games. We've won two, drawn two, lost two. I think that's it's not bad. Obviously, one of those to Solihull, which is fine. And yes, okay, it's 3-0. It's not ideal, but again, lots of changes and you know, it, it's been an intense period. There's been a lot of sort of Saturday, Tuesday, which is fine, and that's going to happen. But it's pre-season, and the fitness is probably not quite there yet. So I, I'm really happy with that. But
Whole
sorry, go
game
on.
as well. Like I think it really flat. I think it flattered that score
Mm,
and flattered them a little bit. I think we played well up until the 64th minute,
mm,
and it's
mm,
only 0-0 up to then, and that's when all the
mhm,
wholesale changes came, and
mhm,
that's what's been really impressive, right? Even against Shrewsbury, well, I think they're League Two.
mm,
The highly kind of opposition that have come and played us, we've held them really well.
mm,
And I think defensively last season, obviously, we were really worried about this. We were kind of letting in really sloppy goals, and it looks like we're a lot more organised in that
mm,
area.
mm.
And performing well against high graded opposition. So I'm really excited for that going into the season.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that Shrewsbury game, I felt we were the better team for a lot of it. Um, Shrewsbury showed some quality in that second half and showed why they are two divisions above, although probably also showed why it's going to be a hard season for them. Um, and we'll both be in the National League next season. But I think, I think, I mean, getting that early goal for Hereford was massive. I just didn't like Theo didn't have loads and loads to do in that first half. We looked competent. We were defending really well, really well. I think it probably took Merritt sort of 10, 15 minutes to get into the game, which is understandable. It's obviously he'd literally signed minutes before, but once he got into it, it looked comfortable. And yeah, I've been impressed with a lot of them. Again, Billy Phillips obviously getting the goal, but as I mentioned before, Joseph James has been so much more confident on the ball, technically just a lot better. Whatever he's done in the summer, maybe it's just a confidence thing. Maybe it's just he always had that ability to do stuff, but he just didn't have the confidence to know what to do with the ball all the time. But just feels so much, yeah, just it's like he's grown up, like he's grown another foot. So yeah, really impressive. Say that Shrewsbury game, their manager came out and said they deserved to win. Did they? No. I nearly swore
Talking
then.
absolute nonsense, right, Tom?
I mean, it's just like I don't mind you sort of saying, oh, we had a few opportunities, we probably should have put them away, and we probably then could have won the game if we'd done that, but we didn't, and fair play to Hereford. Just being magnanimous about it. I think if anyone deserved to win, it was no one because it deserved to be a draw. Um, but we probably weren't quite good enough in the second half. But what I was happy to see was that we played, like it was a normal game. So, we didn't make loads and loads of changes. We didn't, you know, um, we didn't change our shape too much. So we treated it like a proper game, and that's great because you need to do it against that opposition, and you need to test yourselves. You need to show what you can actually do.
Ever a friendly against Shrewsbury?
Yeah.
Did it feel like
Uh,
how did it feel on the night?
I mean, when I was driving in to Hereford and the about 30 or 40 of their fans, I'm guessing have been in the Oxford, I don't know, were being escorted down Widemar Street. That was like, oh right, okay. That's it's not friendly then, is it?
Here we go.
Um, and obviously there was a smoke bomb in the Meadow End, a few children chucked out. But other than that, I think it was a good I think it was a good
Good
day.
report. Just the usual friendly atmosphere, right?
Yeah, loads of police around to be fair. So they obviously expected something. There were 500 and whatever Shrewsbury fans, so when you've got that many of them, they're gonna cause trouble, aren't they? They've got issues. Right. Um so
Moving
our
swiftly on, I think is
our
what you mean.
yeah, exactly. And also the goal they scored was an ex-Hereford player. Right. So obviously this season we've retained Theo in goal. I mean that's massive. I think we talked about it in our end of season review, Joe. But you know he's vital for this team to work. And that defense to work properly. I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he's crucial. And, London Bulls player of the season last year. He's so solid, and it was great that there was absolutely no doubt that he was staying. He was already signed up. They kind of kept that under wraps a little bit, I think, until the last day of the season. So yeah, he is a yes, he's a sort of solid force for us. And yeah, we're all delighted he's staying, I think.
Hmm.
Man was handpicked by Jose Mourinho. You know, he saw something in him, and he's really kind of living up to his potential now. So hopefully, he can keep building on the really good season from last year and have a good one this season with some more clean sheets, hopefully.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, hopefully, with a slightly steadier defense in front of him, it'll make his job a lot easier. We've retained Ollie Lewis as the backup goalkeeper. I think that's great. I think that's really good, um, because I think he's a good talent, and to have him as our backup, I feel confident enough that should we only
Yeah,
need to rest for a game. You
it's
know.
been great to see him getting minutes in the friendlies as well. And I mean, he pulled off a blinding save at the Worcester game. So
Mm,
he was, yeah, he obviously, we don't see very much of him. And I know a couple of people were kind of confused as to why he would be staying when he's very clearly always going to be number two. But
mm,
he's, passionate about being here. That's what we want, right?
mm. Yeah, and also I think you look at like the England squad in this summer. They took the extra goalkeeper Jason Steele to help in training. So that the players could maximize shooting practice and set pieces and things like that. If you've got a good backup, it pushes the main goalkeeper to be on his toes all the time, but also it just helps in training. It helps in warm-ups that you've got someone half decent to help you warm up and help you get ready for the game. So I'm all for it, you know. Um, Obviously we've kept our captain, Big Lewis Hudson. So on the day of recording, it is his birthday today. So happy birthday, Lewis.
Oh, happy birthday to Lewis.
But
Birthday
uh,
list.
but fantastic to retain him. And when Caddis made him captain a couple of seasons ago, you thought, oh yeah, this is the right decision. And then it just felt like that maybe weighed on him a little bit at the beginning, but since then he's been the captain. He's been the leader in our team, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has, and you're right when you say that he looks great this preseason.
Mm,
And I, yeah, you don't know if yeah, you don't know what it is. Hopefully, it is the confidence of the kind of the last gasp survival that we had, and the good feeling going into the season. They've obviously clearly worked really hard with them um, over the last few weeks. So yeah, delighted that he's staying.
mm,
And he put in some big performances, didn't he, at the back end of the season? I think the only thing I was worried about at the Bromsgrove game is he came off injured quite early on. So let's hope he can come back quickly and it's not too serious.
mm. Yeah, let's hope it was just sort of precautionary and and not something to worry about. Do you think that what happened last season at the end of that last season, the lads who stayed, do you think with just about staying up, do you think that will drive them on even more to be more determined this season, and maybe why some of these guys look ready or so early on in pre-season?
I think so, because I think there's going to be that absolute determination to make sure that things don't go as badly wrong as they did like last
Mm,
season. They've got something to prove. They've got something to prove to the fans. They've got something to prove to themselves for their careers going forward.
mm,
And I think, they've obviously, as we mentioned earlier, there is that really good team mentality. They're not individuals. They are, they
mm,
are, there's a real sense of togetherness.
mm,
And yeah, I absolutely think that what happened last season is going to play a part in how determined they are.
mm,
We were quite far off it. I mean, it is a magnificent achievement to have stayed up considering the
mm.
circumstances, even though it was a
Mhm.
bad season. The
Yeah.
position Aaron Downs kind of came into, I mean, it was unbelievable to turn that around. And I think that just, as you said, Joe, it's improved the togetherness of the team. I think it's also improved the connection with the fans.
Mm.
We were busting a few dance moves with some of them in play, which I think. And as I've said earlier, they've been really engaging at the beginning of this preseason. So, yeah, I think they'll want to kind of put that season behind them and really show what they're capable of. And I really hope we can. I know we're going to talk about predictions later, but I think they're going to show what they're really all about and go for a big playoff push, I think.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Don't get too ahead of
Or
yourself
title
here.
push, shall I say?
Don't get too ahead of yourself here, KD. Obviously we've kept Aaron Skinner as well. Not that he's played in pre-season. He has been injured, but uh, Aaron
Yeah, he
Dines.
came on at the last game, didn't he?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
a little few minutes.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, when I spoke to the volunteering day that they had, I spoke to Aaron Dines briefly, and I mean, he was just waxing lyrical about
Mm,
Skinner's fitness levels. He was like,
mm,
he's just an absolutely supreme athlete. He doesn't
mm,
have any concerns over his fitness. He obviously had a bit of a knock. He wanted to protect him a little bit in the run up
mm,
to the first game of the season. So
mm.
yeah,
Do you think he'll start on Saturday against Buxton?
I hope so. I absolutely hope so. I mean, I doubt he'll do the full 90 minutes, but
Mm,
yeah, I hope he's in that starting lineup.
yeah, KD.
We'll see. I don't know how he did yesterday with the
Mm,
minutes and stuff. As
mm.
Joe said, hopefully he can have some exposure to the game and then just start to build his fitness up over the next few weeks.
Yeah. I mean, look, Joseph James has played really well in this preseason, so it's not someone you want to lose necessarily, but skins is skins. So, it is different. Obviously we kept Carl Haykins, just that big presence in that defense. And what's this now? His fourth season. I mean, it's crazy, really, isn't it? When you think about it. Um,
I mean, I
Oh,
seem
Dan
to remember
Burn, is it?
on our last podcast how I was talking about how keen I was for Harkins to stay.
yeah, I think. But let's just rewind this back. I think you said that he's one of the best defenders you've seen at Edgar Street, and you'd like to see
think
him stay.
that's
Was it?
absolutely what I said. Yeah, don't let's not roll the tapes. No need. That was word for word
Right,
it.
we'll clip it from before, and we'll make sure that everyone knows.
However, I want to be proved wrong, as in yeah, I want to be proved wrong.
Well, the manager with a lot more experience in the game has decided to keep him, Joe.
Well, yeah, we'll take his word for it, right?
Yes. We've kept Kazai Martin as well, who obviously looked very good last season. Again, limited in minutes. He's been coming off the bench, but again, just a good person to have in that team and someone who knows Downs and Powell, someone who knows the club, someone who knows the supporters. So, great to keep someone like that, KD.
With Gray, I think he chipped in with a goal or two at the back end of the season, and yeah, he was a great signing for us. Am I right
Mm.
in thinking he's got a bit of international experience as well?
He does. He
Yeah, he
does.
does, So hopefully we might see the expanded World Cup in 2030 when there's about 150 teams there.
Yeah, but not,
But
but well, there'll only be about three because it's only Africa and Qatar that have
yeah, everyone's going to be drawn out on there. So
backed Infantino. But yeah, you never know. Look, he might get to the World Cup. Um, Obviously you mentioned Joseph James and Preston Bittermo. So who Caddis stuck with when he was injured. Um, Downs are stuck with him. So, and in pre-season, he's looked great. He's looked accomplished. If he can stay fit, I'm really excited about what he can offer us, Joe.
Yeah, me too. I think he's looked really, really good. Sounds terrible, but I was quite surprised at how good and how strong he looked. So
Mm,
that is definitely an exciting prospect, as you
yeah,
say, providing holds
mhm.
off on the injury front.
Yeah. And do you think, KD, that loan spell at Kettering last season, has helped him? Obviously, it's given him minutes. It's exposed him to some more football, more adult football. Do you think that's maybe why we're seeing the results we are now?
definitely, we've seen him kind of knocking about, haven't we, for the last couple of seasons, and I've seen a few posts of him where he's won a couple of Man of the Match awards and things like that, and I think he's really kind of lived up to his potential out there, and he's got a few goals and assists, and I think that'll really help him this season.
Mm,
Um, And I think he had that really bad injury, didn't he, up at Darlington, I want to
mm,
say. And I
mm,
think after that, we didn't see much of him. And then, yeah, we'll see how he is going forward this season. But I'm really excited about him. I think he signed a 2-year deal too. So I think, he is someone we're looking at for the future. But hopefully
mm.
we can see a bit more exposure in the next few games.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe look, Downs might sort of swap him in and out, just to manage him a little bit. As obviously recurring injuries are a bit of an unknown, but at the same time, with Joe Willis out, we've got Bittermo there instead. So potentially I'm talking a load of old tosh, but which I don't do very often. So so. I mean, 8 players to retain 8 players and 8 good players as well. It's not just squad players we've retained here. We're retaining some of our best and especially, Skinner, you'd have thought someone would have come in for him. I think someone did. Someone in East Anglia did. So,
That's the
you
word on
know,
the street, right?
but who wants to go
And if
there?
he said no, we love him even more.
Well, if he did get offered, then he definitely said no because he's still here and he'll be representing Hereford in that fantastic shirt that you're modelling there, Joe. I
I know, new
really
shirt
like
on,
these
right? I
shirts.
like
Really
them.
like
They're
these
very good.
shirts. Yeah, they look great, don't they? And especially that away shirt, that yellow that we played in against Shrewsbury, and yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful shirt. I can't wait to get mine when I get the opportunity.
Yeah,
Tom, you raised a really
absolutely.
good point of the number of players that have stayed on, actually. I mean, they all signed on pretty quickly, which was
Mm,
really good to see.
mm,
And I think that just shows their faith and belief in the management team.
mm,
I
mm,
think, after a bad season, you'll often see players just leave or wanting to start fresh somewhere else. And there's no doubt, as you said, there was probably interest in Aaron Skinner, but for him to stay on too, I think that just shows that we got a really good group of guys here that want to just prove, something different next season and show what they're about.
mm,
Yeah. And I think that, when we were talking end of the season about who we wanted to keep, that was predominantly the list that that we mentioned in terms of who we did want to
Mm,
stay. And
mm,
we're just talking as fans. We don't have the insight that Aaron and Harry do, but I think everyone was delighted. I think it
mm.
was the right list of names.
Yeah. Yeah. With Carl Hakins right at the very top, hey Joe. So,
Obviously, yes.
I mean, I think what's interesting for me is the new signings, who we've got in and the caliber of player that we've got in, is who else went to the Village Hotel and met with Daines and Pell, that we didn't get. I think that's quite interesting to see who we didn't manage to sign. But hey ho.
Yeah, it will
But
be
there you go.
interesting. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, me and several other people, I think, were busy searching images of the hotel they posted on social media, trying to work out, well, my God, where are they? Right, as if we're actually gonna, realize from that hotel location who they're meeting. At that point, I was like, I've lost it now. We're all a bit bonkers anyway,
Such
right?
a
In this in to do any of this. But yeah, that was when I was like, okay, Preseason, need to calm down.
Yeah, such a Hereford fan thing to do, isn't it?
well, we know where to camp for de transfer deadline day next season,
Yeah,
so we'll
that's
make
true.
sure we're there bright and early.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a couple of photographers who are like, yeah, we'll get them down the road.
Thank you to our sponsors for this episode. Supporter Line. Are you a little bit overexcited? Getting a little bit carried away about the season? Do you think we're going to piss this Tin Pot League? Well, our friends at Supporter Line can help. They've got expert therapists who can talk you through ways of dealing with this overexcitement and overachievement. Yes, Hereford may well do well this season, but I think it's good to talk to someone. Just lower those expectations down. So call them on 1-800. Just calm down. That's 1-800. Just calm down. And they will give you all the help that you could possibly need. So, looking forward to this season then, guys. I mean, I will just mention last season very, very briefly. Obviously we played 46 games. We did win 14 of them, you know. We drew 10 and we lost 22. Goal difference of -15, and we finished obviously just outside relegation in 20th on 52 points, along with several other teams. So, you know, that in mind, um, your general thoughts on the upcoming season, not your predictions. We're not there yet. Calm. But just your general thoughts on how the league is going to go and how you feel the other teams in the league have also improved or not. Joe.
I mean, unsurprisingly, I'm feeling wildly optimistic about it. I know it's such a shock. I refuse to say anything else. I'll be honest. Other teams, I really don't know. I think at our level, it's so impossible because it's such a revolving door at all clubs. So
Mm,
I find it you never really know until we get going. But of course, look, we all know we are competing with full-time teams. We're competing with big budgets, and that, of course, is going to be tough.
mm.
But I think, yeah, I'm excited about first game of the season. I'm excited to see how we fare at Buxton, and I think, yeah, I know we're not doing predictions yet, but I'm confident, quietly confident.
KD.
I'm the same as Joe. I feel very positive. I feel very good. I think you mentioned the back end of the season and just the general season, how bad it was. But towards the kind of last few games, we had some really good performances against teams at the upper end of the table. Teams like South Shields, Merthyr. We lost the kiddie in the last minute, but we didn't look too much out of it. And I think that's
Mm,
what's been really impressive under the new management. And I don't think that'll be any different this season, actually. I think we'll be
mm,
matching them really well. I think it was just decided on key moments, wasn't it? As all games are. But we've got some big teams in the league this season. Morecambe have come down, haven't they?
Mm,
South Shields and Macclesfield will be up there. I think they've been predicted as favourites. I
mm.
think there's just been the super AI predictor. Have you seen? They've said we're going to finish ninth. I know we're not going to do predictions yet, but I was surprised with that. I thought we would, I thought they would think we'd be hitting the playoffs with some of the signings we've made. But yeah, I'm
We
feeling
should
really
we
good.
should add with AI that when last night I was researching or attempting to research signings for the teams we were playing, and I just tested out how reliable it was by putting in, who Hereford had signed, asking AI, and it told us that Paul Caddis was still our manager, and that we'd signed a load of people that I'd never heard of. At which point passed out.
Yeah.
So I don't know how reliable this, finishing ninth thing is.
Exactly that. So yeah, we this is our ninth season in the National League North, I think, and we've not made the playoffs once. But I think when you look at previous clubs who've gone on and done really well, they spent this sort of amount of time in the league.
Mm,
Stockport were in this league for about 9 years, and look where they are now. They're like pushing for a place in the championship. So I think this will be a very good year for us.
mm. I mean, you say, it's predicted ninth AI. You think it should be higher because of the signings we've made, but we came 20th last season. So I guess that's what AI is going off. You know, that we're going to go up 11 positions at least. But 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 maybe not 13. I think, or whatever it is. But yeah. uh, No, I mean, I think it's look, I think you have to be optimistic anyway. As a Hereford fan, you have to sort of almost forget what happened last season. We've talked about it. Obviously, the signings are great. But look, it's got to gel and it's got to work as a team. It certainly did against Worcester. It certainly did against Shrewsbury. I think it probably did really in um, some of the other games, the drawn games. But I think it's something to I'm just excited to see what this strike force can do, and I'm excited about Betty Phillips, and we'll see. I think we'll see, won't we? Obviously, we do start the season on Saturday against Buxton away. Now, when we went there last season, we hadn't performed particularly well in the first couple of games against Spennymoor and Kings Lynn, and Chorley, conceding 8 goals and scoring about two. Um, so, and then we went and won there, and Buxton, one of the teams that you thought were going to go and run away with the league, especially with the signings they've made, half the Hereford squad. They did end up finishing fifth, a little bit of a late resurgence for them. But obviously didn't get through the playoffs. They've signed a lot of players. They've sold a lot of players, as I think you alluded to, Joe. Is typical in this league. But to finish fifth and get rid of a lot of your players, or lose a lot of your players, I think is an interesting one, and especially for a full-time team. So, is there something to read into it there? But they had a goal difference of 22. Just 37 better than ours, but. you know, um, they've won every single preseason friendly, including against
Time to get them
Scunthorpe.
crashing back down to reality now, though, Tom, right?
Yeah, they beat Scunthorpe 2-0. I think something that's interesting with the four teams that we're going to talk about, they've played a lot of their games at home. The majority. We've played half away, but a lot of these teams have played, let's say they've played 5 preseason friendlies and they've played 4 of them at home. You know, is that a little bit silly of them potentially? Um, but when you look at who else Buxton have played, Warrington who got relegated, Ashton United, Droylsden. So no disrespect to any of those teams, but they should be beating them. Should be beating them comfortably, as we should be beating, some of the teams we've not beaten.
Yes, Tom,
And
as well, we have to not forget the big thing is their altitude, right?
the
It's the
big,
highest ground in the country.
mhm.
So it will be a bit of a kind of England-Mexico situation, I think,
Right,
Saturday.
right.
The National League North equivalent of the Azteca.
This is why
So
they've won all these games, mate. It's because of the altitude.
Could
They've
be.
got this unfair advantage up there. And, the FA, FIFA, I don't know, need to look at this and sort this out. This is totally unfair. But we did it last season, we can do it again. We'll
We
need a
did.
big Dan Burn-esque performance from Carl Harkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, last season was for me, that game was the kind of hope that killed me game, as in we
Yeah.
played that. It was absolutely brilliant. I went from going there kind of saying, oh, I really hope that, Sammy Robinson gets a decent reception from our fans, to at the end just being like, have that, Sammy.
You can I just no, I'm going to clear something up. You never once said, "Oh, I hope he gets a good reception at the end of the game." You said actually that the only reason you were going was to boo him. So let's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, come
In
on now.
blood.
Let's be honest about this. But no, I mean, obviously, look, the altitude genuinely will make a difference. It is an interesting one, um, but we
The
did do
fan
it
up there
last
last
season.
season, Jeff. Did
Say
you
that
feel
again.
that the air being thinner up there when you went up?
I didn't notice it. I mean, everyone notices the massive hill that you have to walk up to get there. By the time you're there, you're just like, oh God, this is taking it out of me. And then just like 90 minutes of stress to go through at the top. So, but yeah, I don't know if we've been altitude training. I'm not sure. No one's mentioned that.
Well, I mean, we train near Birmingham, don't we? That's further up
That's
uh,
that's
the
you see, yeah,
country.
we're
It might not
already
be further above sea level, but it's further up the country. Surely that means something.
already at an advantage. There's a joke
Um,
about being north of the Watford Gap, right, on the London Bulls podcast.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Um, that's north to us. So I suppose that's it. That's why Oxford are in Ashley North. Yeah, obviously it will be a tough game. We're all going, hopefully, KD. You were a bit and ah the other night, so
That's
hopefully
the odds on
you'll
to
be there.
come. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll just
that's
pack
good.
my air capsules with me.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, an oxygen tank.
I
Just make
drive at
sure.
night at high on I-10, Katie. I don't know if you'll fit your oxygen tank in.
Yeah, that's true. This is very true. I think we should also mention recently that Buxton lost one of their staff members, Charlie Creswell, at the age of 72. Obviously our condolences go out to them. They uh, I don't know if it happened. It happened on the day of one of their preseason friendlies. I think it was before the game, so that game obviously got called off. But yeah, obviously it's never great. Losing anyone, fans, players, staff, but so close to the start of the season, it's even harder. And someone who's been there for so long and held so many jobs in the club. So yeah, as I say, our condolences go to Buxton on that one. Um, so guys, I suppose we should do some predictions now. So. What are your predictions for the Buxton game then? How do you think Hereford? Obviously, we don't know a lot about Buxton other than the fact that they've scored a lot of goals in pre-season. They play at altitude. They've made some good signings. What are we thinking? KD, I'll come to you first for the crazy one.
I think it'll be a comprehensive 2-0 victory for us, my friend.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable 2-0 win.
sure, sure. Um, yeah, don't need you to expand really. I think we all know how crazy that is. Joe, what are you gonna? Oh God, she's gonna go
I
for
was
a win.
actually going to go
See it.
2-0 as well, but I will
Yeah,
go
see,
2-1 just to be a little bit different.
Okay.
Tom's just holding
Um,
his head in his hands, like not even trying to hide it anymore.
yeah. I mean, if you're listening rather than watching, then my face told you everything. Um, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be tough, guys. It's for us to go and score two goals up there. The only reason that we might go and win that game 2-0, 2-1 is probably because they're not expecting us to be as good as we are, or we managed to play better football than again is expected. I'm going to go with the draw though. Which is not me being pessimistic. I think it's a good start to the season, a good start against the team that finished fifth last year. And a team that's expected to be up there again. So you know, do we think who do you think is going to score for Hereford?
I'm going Corley Cox,
Hmm.
Billy Phillips.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, yeah, I'm going to go for a Cam Condola brace.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Set
Oh,
pieces.
Okay. I think we
Yeah,
should
unexpected.
mention with Cam, KD, obviously he's the second ever Sikh player to play for Hereford. I mean, just quickly for you, what does that mean? And for you, as obviously Sikh man yourself.
Special, mate. I mean, it's doubled the Punjabi Bulls group
Mm,
attendance, which is
mm.
fantastic. We now have two people. Incredible. Come on. Actually, he was just listed by Sky Sports as in the South Asian Football Team of the Year,
Mm,
which has just come out from last season. So, yeah, we have one of the best South, which is incredible to see. But it's amazing. I mean, if I was a kid and I saw him play, I mean,
mm,
I would probably want to pursue a career in the game as a
mm,
footballer. It would mean so
mhm,
much to me seeing a role model like him. So, very special indeed.
mhm. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. It's great to have him in, and such a good player as well. So we're very lucky. Obviously, you've decided not to pursue the game from a playing side, but you do ref these days, and you've had some dodgy decisions, but look,
Acting
I'm
like
just,
Cam would have turned me into an amazing footballer, but I've got two left feet anyway. That's why I've ended up being a ref.
yeah, I remember seeing you play in Germany. Right, moving on then to the first home game of the season. Marine. They finished mid-table last season, 12th. 62 points, goal difference of -10 in 12th position. So they're a team that doesn't win by much, but loses by a lot. Just by looking at that, really. And I mean, they've had a positive pre-season. They won on Saturday, 2-0 at home. Um, Again, they played Warrington, who went down. The team they played on Saturday was Bootle, played Prescott, Runcorn Linnets, Colwyn Bay, and Blackburn's under 21s. So other than maybe the Blackburn under 21s, again, they're playing teams that are below them in the pyramid, and that's not to say again disrespect those teams. There's some very good teams there. We know some of the teams that are in the league below us, that we've lost players to, or that have beaten us to players. So by no means is that a problem, but I just feel like, are they undercooked? I mean, they've won a lot of them, but that's I'm not trying to, there's no shade going on here, but I just think.
oh, give us a shade, Tom.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be them. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be them.
They've
Um,
had zero tests. That's what we like.
but and again, looking at their signings, they've signed someone from Warrington. They've signed someone from Curzon who got relegated as well. They've signed a few lads from the league below. Again, not a problem. We've signed a couple of lads from below. Um, but then flip side, they've signed a lad called Connor McElhenney, who has got football league experience. He's a very, very experienced player. Was with Fylde for a bit last season. So, there's certainly a lot of intent there, but I just wonder if they might struggle. That's shorthand for me saying I think we're going to win.
Mm.
But
Oh, thank goodness for that.
you
Let's
know,
have your score prediction first, then, Tom. Come on,
well,
you go
no, I
first on
mean,
this one.
yeah, I want to hear what you guys think about Marine. Um, what you think about their signings and what you think about their pre-season results.
I think that pre-season has probably flattered them in
Wow,
terms of the level of their opposition.
Christ.
I'm just going with that.
Wow. KD, anything else derogatory to add?
Played them home and away at the back end of the season, and I thought they looked very well drilled and very good, and they were very hard to break down.
Mm,
I think we will still win. I think it'll be a 1-0 win. We'll just edge them, I think. I think we'll see a similar kind of Marine this season.
mm,
I'll be honest, I don't know too much about how much their signings will impact their squad, but I think we won't see anything too different from them.
mhm, mhm. Okay. Okay. Joe, KD's gone with a 1-0 win. Seems a bit pessimistic. What are you thinking?
I'm going. I'm going 3-1.
Oh,
3-1 to us. Yeah,
goodness gracious
we're
me.
creating a lot of chances. I think we're going to knock the goals in this season.
Wow. I mean, that feels excessive. Um, My prediction is 3-1 win to Hereford. So there you go. Um, I think we'll be on it, especially with that. I'd be a big crowd. I think that first game. I think it's going to be exciting. I think we'll go for it as we have done really in a lot of the preseason games. When the best result that you got was a 2-0 win at home to Colwyn Bay. I think I'm not worried. I'm really not worried who are a good side, by the way.
Walk over,
Genu
right?
Genuinely a very good side in the Welsh Prem. Um, so yes, so at the moment, then, according to you two, 6 points from 2 games. We then have Radcliffe at home on the Tuesday night. They finished 13th last season, so just the one place below Marine on 60 points and a goal difference of -7. So pretty similar to Marine, where they're grinding games out. They're winning. Obviously, they beat us 1-0 away from home last season on that bank holiday. But what they're always a physical, tough side to play, aren't they? And that's do you think that's going to be a factor again there, KD?
Yeah. I mean, I have that stereotype of Radcliffe where they're just anti-football.
Mm.
And I was saying to Joe, like, I don't know, maybe they've signed a load of new players who play on the front foot and a bit like Barcelona, but I can't really see that. Um, I think it's gonna be
As we're all going to be wildly shocked if they have, by the way.
yeah. I think it's gonna be a very tough game. We beat them at home at the end of the season, I think, right? 3-1 or 3-2, I think it was. I think we have a lot of youngsters in the squad now, and I think they're that typical National League North sort of bully. And I think we'll
Mm.
get a 1-1 draw there.
I mean, I'm speechless, absolutely speechless. What, like, people watch this podcast to see your crazy predictions.
I think
And,
they'll, yeah.
like, I was expecting, like, 5-0, but no, he's let
They're
us
going to
down.
be the Argentina, mate, of the National League North. They're going to be absolutely ruthless. Rugby tackling our players, also. It's going to be two-footed.
Punch us in the back of the head. Yeah,
Genuinely the
okay.
most offensive thing we could possibly say after the last month.
Oh, I think Bernard Morley would be happy with that, the Radcliffe manager. That's probably how he set his team up. Okay, so 1-1 from KD. Okay, so 7 points from 3 games in your head. Joanne,
I'm going full 9 points.
wow,
And I don't think it's going to be easy, but I'm going for 1-0. 1-0 to us.
wow, tough crowd, tough game. Um, fair enough, fair enough. Um, I mean, looking at their preseason, they haven't won. Oh, they have won, sorry, one game, 5-3 away at Flixton, um, who obviously, are going to trouble us for the league this season. Oh no, no, not in the same
We,
league.
we know them well. Don't even know where that is.
Lost. That's got to be up there somewhere in it. They lost 1-0 to Mossley. They drew 0-0 against Shrewsbury, and then lost 4-2 on penalties for some reason. Um, I think it must have been a cup involved.
Intriguing. I'm going to need to look this up afterwards.
Yeah, it's great. They drew 0-0 at home to Barrow. Obviously Barrow got relegated last season, but they are in the league above. So not a terrible result. And then they lost 3-1 to Bury, who are in the league below. On Saturday, at Bury. So, you know, I think based on that, I just feel like they're either going to be ready now and know what they've done wrong, or they're going to continue that on and be absolutely pants against us. So, but it will be 3 games in, so they may well have got their stuff together. Right about sort of way to 2-0 to Hereford. So who's being negative now? Uh,
It's like
we
the
then
roles have reversed with you two. What's
this
going on?
I
Tom, who
think
are your scorers, though?
who are my scorers?
Who are your scorers?
Richardson and Ollie Lewis, I think.
Nice. Okay, love that.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
Uh, who's scoring for you guys then? As you both said, Hereford are going to score.
I'm going Howkins.
Nice.
Okay, it will be that sort of
Gonna love
game.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Going to
mean,
be
they've got
physical.
11 Carl Hawkinses, haven't they?
they have. Well, according to you, they've got 11 Christian Romeros, but yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose so.
Waiting for a
Um,
Cam Condella tap in, by the way.
are you? Yeah.
So by this
Is
point, he'll be our top scorer.
I was going to say, is he scoring every game, every goal at this? I think he's scored every goal
National
so
League
far.
North Golden Boot. Here we go.
And who's scoring for Radcliffe, KD?
Um, Christian Romero.
Okay, yeah. Which one? 1 to 11 you've got. Christian Romero, number 10. Okay, and then we've obviously got our second away game of the season, Worksop, on the 22nd of August. They finished 16th last season, so a little bit closer on 57 points. So 5 ahead of Hereford. Um, Goal difference of -8, so everyone is terrible at defending last season. So maybe everyone's improved, maybe they haven't. I think we have certainly. Look, they've had a good pre-season to be fair to them. They've had a lot of games, I think 7 games they've had. Um and but again, they haven't necessarily played anyone, so it's really difficult there's no football league team in there. Um, they've played Hallam, Retford, Ilkeston, South Normanton Athletic. They played a Barnsley 11, but I'd imagine that's sort of half and half. Garforth Town, Mickleover Sports, and Sheffield United under 21s. Um, they've won all but one of those. The draw was against the Barnsley 11. Um, you know, winning is always a good thing, and getting that momentum up. So it's not that it won't be difficult. Again, they've played all but 2 of those 7s. They've played 5 at home, which is obviously where we're playing them. You know, a lot going on there, a lot of information, a lot of goals though. 4-2, 3-0, 3-1, 4-3, 1-all, 4-0, 1-0, and 3-1. So they know where the back of the net is, guys.
They do. That's not what we want to hear.
Well, someone's got to say what the stats are. I can't, you know what I mean, I can't lie. I mean, they haven't played
But
anyone.
again, look, I feel like the sort of the list of friendlies that everyone else has had is testament to how well we have prepped this season, and the array of teams that we've played, the different levels that we've played. I think that's important. We've played home and away. Yeah, of course you want to win them, but you also want to test yourself and you want to play sides that are going to challenge you. So it works up. You can, knock in as many goals as you like again in your pre-season friendlies. But yeah, when the Bulls are in town, that's when you'll be really tested.
You've been gored by the Bulls, yeah. KD, what are your thoughts with all that load of rubbish that I was just spiting out for 5 minutes?
Just expanding on your point about the number of preseason games they've had, I think they're going to be knackered. They've almost played a quarter of a season already with that number of
Mm.
games.
That's a good
So I
point.
think they're going to be very exhausted going into our game because of this, and I'm going for an entertaining 4-1 win for us. I think we're going to put them to the sword.
Away from home.
Yeah. We beat them 3-2 last season away,
We
and
did.
I could see us building on that this year and absolutely killing them. They're going to have no energy.
Right. Yeah, I suppose they're not used to it like we are. We played 53 games a week
Yeah.
every week for the last 2 months last season. So yeah, I can see some I can see some logic there, KD, for the first time in the past hour. Jo Joe, thoughts?
I am going 3-1, I think.
Okay.
3-1. Works. It was a great day out last season as well. So
Was it was
you're going, aren't you, Tom? I can't
potentially,
make it
yes. I'm hoping
season,
to.
but yeah, it was, yeah, last season was very stressful. We didn't make it
Mm,
easy for ourselves as always, but um
yeah. Okay. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. We did go 3-0 up, didn't we? Yeah, I think 2-1 Hereford. I mean, I think we're all going to look pretty stupid when we don't get any of these wins that we've talked about. But
3-0 draws on the
we
card.
probably need some more draws in there. But yeah, look, you've got to be optimistic. We'll have some more players coming back slowly over that time as well. some of the injuries. So, you know, got to be
Do you
positive,
think
KD. Got to be
Ollie
positive.
Lewis will add another to his tally?
Brace. Yeah.
Brace,
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe? Richardson?
Oh, yeah, coming off the bench, absolutely. Why
Mhm,
not?
mhm.
Nice, cool. I mean, Candola hat trick.
Of course you
Williamson goal.
Of
So
course.
perfect.
There's a theme here. There's absolutely a
Who's
theme here.
getting the assists here, KD?
Probably Hawkins. I think he'll just knock it down to him.
Corners. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. I thought Haykins was on corners for a bit then. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Look, if there's any fans of these teams watching, we're not being disrespectful to the teams you've played, your pre-seasons, but at the end of the day, it's our it's our job to slag you off. Right. Predictions for the season then, guys. We talked about this the other night when we were together. But and they all got a bit more ridiculous as the beer flowed. But firstly, before you say where you think we'll finish, how do you see this season going? I asked you this at the beginning, but I wonder if it's a different answer now.
Go on, KD, you go first.
Oh, okay. I think we will finish third. I think we will be in a title race, but I think it'll be last day heartbreak. But we'll go up through the playoffs, is my prediction.
Okay, that's who we beaten in the playoffs. Who's
Gosh.
the final? Who's the final?
Hair final. We win at home. 3-2 after extra time. Candola, 120th minute.
Okay, okay. Let's just move on. Joe.
I can't take it, KD. I'm going six. I absolutely feel like we have got playoff potential this season. Um, I'm looking forward to doing the next podcast and having to be like, maybe not quite there yet. But no, I think I don't know. The optimistic side of me, of course, wants to say that you will get promoted, we'll go up through the playoffs. I don't know if I can quite go that far yet. But I think we're in with a good shout of making the playoffs. We've recruited well. We're looking as strong as we can do pre-season and
Okay,
all feeling like we could
interesting.
do it.
Very interesting.
I should also say that when we were all together for our London Bulls working group meeting the other evening, I think it was Alan who said we'll have pissed the league by Christmas.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
how much beer we'd had by this stage, but
It was
yeah,
a
just
few.
to
It was a
quote
few.
Alan Leighton for anyone who knows him who's watching.
Yeah. I think we're finishing eighth. Final day, heartbreak. Right. Let's move
Hey,
on.
that's
Let's
savage.
move
Especially
Oh my
on.
God.
final day heartbreak.
Ah, we love it. We love final day heartbreaks. Right. We're so used to it now, aren't we? So, there we go. Let us know your predictions in the comments and make sure you're realistic, more realistic than some of my colleagues.
Yeah, feel free to like chime in on how much utter rubbish we've been talking as well for this entire thing.
Again, we're a team that finished 20th last season. Yes, okay, we were a bit better under the new management and we've signed some good players. So, no doubt we'll move up, but even moving up to eighth is pushing it. Um, Moving up to sixth and third is just ludicrous. Right. So there we go. We'll just talk about a couple of London Bulls events that we've hopefully got coming up. Southport on Bank Holiday Monday, we're hoping to stream. So we're just looking into that at the moment. Loads of people have said yes, they'd like to come. So that's great. If you're listening to this, you're a London Bull. Even if you're not and you fancy just rather than going to Southport, you fancy travelling down to London, then it'll be on. Just have a look out for that. We'd love to do the Marine game as well. I'm not. I'm going to be at the game, as I believe you are as well, Joe.
Yes.
And KD is just can't be bothered. So, with either. So, but yeah, again, if you can make it, let us know. And we'd love to be able to get it on. So, yeah, I think that's all good. I think that's all good. We've already started planning the Christmas party because it's July, but it's August now. It was July when we met, but when I was looking at the agenda for last year's working group meeting at that time, we were talking about the Christmas party. So we have now started. So
The event that
um,
takes over our lives for the next few months is already underway.
yeah, let us know who you want as a guest. Let us know, if you want me and KD there at all, actually. I think it's fair enough. If you
Just
don't,
wanted to give a shout out to someone before you finish. Hugh Brookes, who has just taken over the women's team. Very young, really exciting potential. He's got a good kind of pedigree in the local scene, so I'm really excited to see what he does with the women's team this season. So good luck to them.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've been talking as well. We're looking forward to getting to at least a couple of the women's games this season, which is exciting. And I feel like that, the club of sort of making a lot more progress already this year, just in the way
Mm,
they're promoting it. We know about the people that have signed on already. And I think, yeah, look, they got a little bit of criticism latter part of last season, which I think we have to cut them a little bit of slack for, given that all the problems that we had on and off the pitch. But it's really important if people, we would all urge people to kind of get behind the women's team as much as you can this
mm.
season, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we're looking to sponsor a player again. We had a fantastic player, Miley Jordan, last season. We're looking for another fantastic player, one that can do the London Bulls proud, and obviously Hereford FC. As mentioned earlier, we're sponsoring Joe Willis, and we are also sponsoring Mr. Hereford, I think is the only way you can describe him. Mr. Dan Pace, the kit man for Hereford. Um, he's been great to us, the London Bulls, with getting stuff signed and getting stuff done. So really great to be able to sponsor him. And yeah, what a great ambassador for the club. He really is. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me again today. We will return in a couple of weeks' time and see whether anything we've said today is relevant, means anything, right or wrong, and we can all have a good laugh. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You know, it's going to be an exciting season, whatever happens. But yeah, I think all I can really say is 10 more years, Aaron and Harry. Thank you.